welcome to or welcome back to Total Spotfest. You see, we got a packed lobby in here tonight. JJ is me. Jamie is over that way. Right below me, I have our good friend Austin Reddick. And look, we have a new friend appearing for the first time on the show. You might recognize him if you follow our friends over at the I-70 Hot Tag podcast. He is also part of the ownership team of Fountain City Pro, the newest wrestling promotion here in Kansas City. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Chase Riley.
Thank you.
You only stumbled a little bit, but I'm proud of you.
Oh yeah, you know, hey,
all the words.
It is not a Spotfest intro if JJ doesn't stumble.
I mean, there's that. And
How
then
the
it
hell
would
are
be
you
a
gentlemen
Spotfest thing
doing?
if I didn't give you shit about it either. So there's
Absolutely.
that.
Why would it be? Yeah, we're gonna be in a car till like 5 a.m. on Friday night, so this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Austin, how the hell are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well, aside from the 45-mile-per-hour cold winds that blew in from Nebraska last night. I was planning on griddling some steaks out on my back porch today, and a little too cold for that. But otherwise, I am doing phenomenally. How are y'all doing?
We're doing all right. So, I'll tell you a funny story here. So, Jamie and I, we have bowling league on Tuesday, which is when the front had moved through. Right before we left the house, you know, it just started to go through. So going from like 60, like 75 or whatever, and it started to drop. By the time we left the bowling alley, it was snowing. It was just stupid. Welcome to the Midwest, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the weather, man. That's all there is to it. Like, fuck the Midwest. I'm sorry. I love it. I love Kansas City, but like if I could have like a teenage, adolescent, pubescent child for weather, that would be great.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The weather always gets me, man. I was pouting like a child yesterday when I found out it was going to be 20 degrees. So,
are you a non-cold weather person, Chase?
no, I love the cold weather. But I know I'm in the wrong area because of the Midwest. It changes seasons every 3 days. But I really love wintertime, but I love wintertime and snow for the wintertime. Not in the middle of March, not sporadic in the beginning of May, which seems to have happened like 3 out of the past 4 years. We get a random snow in May. If it happens in November and December, I'm cool with it. The more snow, the better. I love a white Christmas, but not with my flowers in
Not with your flower. I gotta
April.
get the flower bed, blankets out. And maybe I'm just schizophrenic, or I've just gone out with enough crazy women, and I don't know. I've adapted to it well, and I'm just like, meh. That's kind of how it is. Give it to me. Hey, what's up, Clint? By the way, if this is your first time here, welcome, hello, thank you for joining us. Please make sure to hit that like button if you want to see more of us. We do this not necessarily with as many people, but we do this every Wednesday night after Dynamite, and occasionally throughout the week. So you can hit that bell, if you do want to hit that subscribe button. If you're with us live, like our friends Heather, Big Rob, Clint, join us in chat. Please do. We would be more than happy. So,
Absolutely.
Well, like I said, Chase is one of the owners of part of the ownership group. I don't know the right terminology. Is that part of the ownership group? There, do you have like a title we could utilize to piss off the others?
Owner founder.
The owner founder. There we go.
Yep.
Of Fountain City Pro, and we are going to talk about Fountain City Pro because in a little over a week is the inaugural Fountain City show. So, Chase, why don't you go ahead and say a little bit about Fountain City?
Yeah, Fountain City Pro is going to be a live entertainment that is built for people of every background, every walk of life, whatever. And we want to provide you with every form that we can of the best form of live entertainment. I have always believed my entire life and that is professional wrestling. You know, one guy we did an interview with one time talked about how saturated Texas is and how awesome it is down in Texas because there's so much wrestling for the fans and whatnot. And I believe, which is why Josh and I started that I-70 hot tag thing, is that we have the best talent or some of the best, because everybody wants to talk about East Coast and West Coast. You know, the guys from Pennsylvania and New Hampshire always get the calls from AEW. I believe that our guys here in Kansas and in the Midwest can keep up with those guys on the West Coast, down south, and the East Coast. It's just there's not a whole lot of exposure because some guy who won a lot of championships called us the worst territory in the world, and I don't believe that. Maybe in the 80s, you know, maybe we were the worst territory in the world, but you know, with the talent that we have around here that we've seen in the past 10 years come through here, and the talent that we have that work their asses off today, there's no reason why that Kansas City or the Midwest shouldn't be in those conversations. And that is the goal for Fountain City Pro, is to give the fans more to see here in Kansas City.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
That gets me fired up, you know, because lately we have to go typically outside of Kansas City in order to see some, you know, phenomenal wrestling, you know, minimum with at least a women's match or women on it. You know, so it's one of those things that, you know, we are very, very psyched and pumped to actually see and be a part of this new Fountain City Pro. And I am really, really, really excited. I can't wait. Obviously, we know Austin's going to be on the card. You got a phenomenal card already stacked up. And, you know, how about this? I'm going to ask you this real quick question because I know you got a little tea to spill or a little announcy. But what have you learned that was a little eye-opening for you for setting up your very first show?
Sorry. I'll tell you what. And it's crazy. I was told when I very first got into this, all the good and a lot of the bad. Obviously I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, right? But one of the things that really, kind of good and bad, I was always told, or at least I've been made to believe the past few years, that there are groups in the wrestling community that say they want to see say wrestling grow and wrestling prosper, and they really don't. And while that may be true to some people, I have found out that it is more false than what you would think. Because I have sat down with people who said those things about other people and who other people said those things about them. And you would be amazed at how ready promotions, bookers, wrestlers, workers around Kansas and Missouri are ready to say, hey, the more the better, the more we help each other out, the better. So that's probably the number one thing I learned, good and bad.
Now, Austin, because Chase is, I'm not going to say boss, but Chase is a promoter who did bring you onto a show here. So, but as somebody who has put on shows before here, you know, do you have any like sage words of wisdom that you've already imposed to him, or anything that you're looking forward to for, continuing on in the Kansas City area for wrestling?
Yeah. So I think pretty much any promotion is going to be successful if you, one, genuinely want to put on a good pro wrestling show. Because I worked for a lot of promoters. They're looking at it more like a cash grab. they're not worried about putting on a good show. They're just trying to make a buck, which if you put on a good show, you will likely make money as well. But really, from everything I've seen so far from the promotion, just the outreach to talent to make sure everything's ready to go or get there and all that, it seems like this is being done the right way. And when you do things the right way and they go well, it tends to stick around. Kind of to echo what y'all were saying, I'm just really excited about another promotion, one fairly close to my home that I get to work for.
You don't have to drive overnight to get to.
Yay! 7-hour drive to Denver or a 9-hour drive to Houston. But also just another good promotion for everyone else to work in the area. The Midwest, when people think of the Midwest and the Indies, they think Chicago. They think, even some stuff up in Iowa tends to pop off a little bit. It's got some notoriety, but they don't really think of Kansas City. Basically, if you're west of St. Louis, there's wrestling there, but people don't know about it. And so the more good promotions there can be, the more people will know about it. So I'm excited. Like Chase was saying, there is talent in the Midwest that people need to see. I am not that far removed from regularly working down in Texas. I can tell you right now, the Premier can go with any tag team in Texas right now. And that's just one example of many of the talent that's around. Camaro Jackson is another one that should be wrestling everywhere. Yeah. And I could literally just start listing off names. But you don't got to listen to me and take my word for it. If you are local to the area, you can come to the show and see a lot of this awesome talent in person. And I highly suggest you do so, because it's going to be a super rad night.
That's a fantastic segue, because if you see on your screen here, it is going to be March 8th. Okay, it is down in Olathe, Kansas. Good old Olathe. The Bell Event Center. Am I saying that right?
Ball event.
Ball. It was B and 2 L's, and there was a vowel in there. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. We're going to have ourselves a ball. The Ball Event Center, which if you wonder where that is, it is stupid easy to get to. Like literally 151st and 35. Just literally like right off the highway. Stupid easy. Tickets are still available. No front seats, right? Front seats are sold out, Chase.
Correct. Front row seats are sold out.
Okay, but you still do have some tickets available for the rest, though.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. We are selling general admission until those sell out, and then we will sell standing room to a limited amount.
Okay. All right. So $20 get you in the door. $20. You can't go see Dune for $20. I know this because I was going to go to the big old. No, it's stupid. Well worth your time. Come join us a week from Friday. There we go.
Correct.
But what, pray tell? Hey, Jamie, what do you think we're going to see there? Because I know there's been some stuff that's already been announced, right?
I mean, we already know we are going to see all steel Jay Fowler going up against the already aforementioned Camaro Jackson. I am looking forward to that one because obviously Camaro, the quad father, is amazing.
Jay Fowler Jay is by himself, though?
Oh, no. He's got Midnight Guthrie going along with him, which is great because then as soon as I see him, I'm going to talk about how I was the fantasy football champion for our league, dominated down the stretch. I kicked ass and took names, but that's another story.
Which league was that, Jamie?
That was the one with Brian
J.
Moses in it, and you were in there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Brian J's league.
Yes, Brian's, yeah. Dominated. Actually, I started out really slow, and then I caught fire.
Everybody got referred to it as the Kansas City Wrestling League because it was a bunch of guys who met through wrestling.
Jovi even had a team, and Jovi was just recently announced this morning, at least I saw, that he will be there. So we will have some Jovi action.
You can still buy your tickets, folks. It's still okay to come, even though we're going to have Jovi.
Yes, Joe. I'm not exactly sure what Jovi's going to be doing.
Nobody knows what Jovi's doing till Jovi does it.
I agree. I agree.
I'm expecting a mic in his hand. That's all I know.
Shocker.
We'll see.
And if
We'll
it
see
had
if
anything less,
if we let him.
I feel like I'd be left out.
We have seen him wrestle before. He wrestled in Anarchy in a flak jacket and
true.
all.
Well,
Yeah.
you know. All
He
right.
almost
Well,
beat him.
hey, we have you on, and yes, I did say announcy earlier. I have teenage daughters, and I do watch the TikToks. So we would love to hear you spill maybe a match announcement for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you guys know that I do a podcast. And it's always cool to, just like with the wrestling companies helping each other out. The same thing. I did one on Wrestle Talk, wanted to do one with you guys, because we all can help Fountain City and the other promotions in the area grow as well.
Exactly.
So that's why I always like doing stuff like this.
Funny story. Jason and I have been talking about doing a collaboration between our podcasts for 2.5 years now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, we finally did it. It just took a wrestling promotion for it to happen.
Yes, exactly. But no, I do have a match announcement. You guys did mention earlier that Austin will be there next Friday. And Austin is not going to be alone. He will be with his tag team partner, Tommy Too Good, who both Austin and Tommy together I think are a fantastic tag team.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think the reason why the premiere should be working everywhere in the world is because they get to work guys like you and Tommy. So with that being said, not only is Austin not coming alone, he's coming with Tommy. Austin and Tommy aren't coming alone either. They're bringing a friend, and it's going to be the one and only Heidi Howitzer in a 6-person tag team match going up against Technical Difficulties, yes, Raheem De La Suede.
Give me that Suede.
And Moses the Deliverer.
Love
and
that.
their partner, Tootie Lynn, the Little Blue Dragon. So,
oh my
super
God.
excited for that, man.
That's
Look at
amazing.
That. Look at that
So,
beautiful match right there.
Excited for this one.
Yes.
So it's husband and wife and Tommy Too Good versus boyfriend, girlfriend, and then Moses.
Yeah.
Husband, wife, and my adopted son.
Your adopted son.
My young boy.
So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that Heidi's adopted son as well, or is that just nah?
Nah, that one just belongs to me.
Her adopted stepson.
That's a hell of a match too, because obviously we've seen Technical Difficulties a couple times now, and we've seen them do their solo things. They are excellent. Big fan of Tootie. All of us are here.
Love us
and obviously, you know, we're kind of marks for Austin, as we should be.
And we don't mind that household at all. You know,
So y'all are bigger marks for my wife, and I'm on the show.
We're trying to be nice to you. Come on, man.
Hey, we're trying to put you over here right now.
Come
Okay?
on, man. We don't see Heidi in this box, okay? She's not here right now. She's not there, is she?
No, she is out of town on business right now. I'm sure she would have interjected from the other side of the house already.
Yeah, fine. We'll just bury her and we'll just put you over. It's all good.
She yell across. All she does, Chase, is occasionally she yells nerds as she's walking past the room. Is what she does.
I'm not shocked. In fact, if you would have asked me what I think she does, that probably would have been the closest answer I would have given.
And she watches Lord of the Rings and she calls us nerds. That's all I gotta say.
Heard that. Wish I didn't hear that, but I just heard that.
Okay, all right. Pause. We're taking a pause for the cause. Lord of the Rings, yes, no, Chase.
Yes, but not. Like it's at the bottom.
Yes.
It's at the bottom of my fandom. Like it's like I like it, but I mean like, I'll take Harry Potter over Lord of the Rings. You know, Star Wars, anything, Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I like it. Like I said, it's just
okay.
It's just down there a little bit.
You can't see it because Jamie's only showing a little bit of a smile. He has a smile from ear to ear behind his face right now. Just FYI, there's an ongoing thing between
Ongoing bit between Heidi and I about how I think the Clerks 2 reference of the Lord of the Rings series is 100% accurate. Like even the trees fucking walked. You know, like it's a thing. It's a great bit. I'm a Star Wars nerd. Don't care. Proud of it. But yeah.
Yeah. 1,000%, man. 1,000%.
Look at this.
All right,
Hey, at Ni Hao. Ooh, let's go.
We're gonna get back to it. Okay, sorry, I didn't want to derail too much, but that was too juicy. I couldn't pass up on that. All right, so fantastic. Thank you for announcing that fantastic match. But you got a few other matches, Chase, on the card already announced.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the main event, Fowler and Camaro Jackson. The reason why that main event came together is because Fowler hasn't been seen in Kansas City since Journey's final show, and Midnight Guthrie hasn't been seen in Kansas City for longer than that.
He was like Old Journey was his last appearance.
The final
right?
show at Kansas.
Yeah.
Oh.
So bringing them back to Kansas City and then putting them against a high-profile athlete like Camaro Jackson, I felt was the perfect match for the main event. Another match, speaking of Journey Pro, the championship that Journey Pro released to St. Louis Anarchy, and St. Louis Anarchy rebranded as the Destination Championship, will be defended by Davey Vega against Gary F and J. Can I cuss on this show?
Oh, fucking A.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Gary fucking J.
I mean, you'll get fined, but you can do it.
Yeah. But
yeah, you owe us $3 when we see you on
that's
next
okay.
Friday.
Oh, guess where,
That's
Jar?
okay.
Leave it at the bar at the event. We'll pick it up a beer.
$1 for the each, and then you guys will keep Austin's dollar.
Oh, JJ, no, we go broke. We can't do that.
But yeah,
I'm really excited for that match. Not gonna lie, really
agreed
excited for that match.
Absolutely.
Before you get into the rest of the card, Clint had a question of asking, how long do you anticipate the show to be? Is it going to be the typical 3 hours with intermission?
We're gonna try and hit 3 hours. If we get out of there a little early, a little bit earlier than that, then absolutely. Because I know Austin probably has a long drive home. Actually, no, you don't.
It's only about 2.5. That's light work.
That's light
work.
Yeah.
Actually, because you're going to be in Leavenworth the next day, aren't you?
I will not be. Tommy Too Good will be on a solo adventure for HCW in Leavenworth the next night. But I get to go back home after the show, which will be nice.
Yes, there you go.
So there you go.
And
Clint.
then
not too late of a night.
Yes.
It's a steal of a deal for $20, bud. So I expect you to be there.
Absolutely. The other matches that we announced, besides Gary J and Davey Vega and the main event, has been a tag team match with Laney Luck and GPA, who we have not seen since Journey Pro in Kansas City, going up against a newly formed tag team of Logan Knight and Stormy Renee as Only Friends.
I love
so
that.
they were very excited
So good.
how that worked out. I messaged Logan, and Logan was like, actually, we've been talking about this for a while, so they're gonna debut that. I think they've already debuted it, but they're gonna bring that to Kansas City, so super excited for that.
She's still good. She's still on the card to be here, right? Because I know she jacked up her elbow or something like recently.
Yep. Yeah, she I messaged her, and she let me know that she will indeed be here March 8th.
Fantastic.
So
yeah, I've been following it on the Twitters. She was able to put her hair in a ponytail today, so she's making great strides. So hopefully she'll be okay.
I would assume that means something good.
Well, dislocated elbow, dude. Like,
no, that's
you can't move it very much.
I'm just moving on. Yeah. We're just gonna move on.
And no wait, it's gotta be your bowl. Like that's the kind of joke that I felt like there.
And I think that's the only 3 matches that we have announced.
Well, now 4.
Now 4. Yeah, absolutely. And Saturday we will be doing a live stream from our top sponsor, Kara Anderson Realty. We will be doing a live stream at her office, breaking down the full card. So every single match will be announced then. I've got a graphic coming out for that tomorrow to promote that. So it'll be live streamed in the morning. So for those
where is that stream going to be? Is that going to be
night.
on FountainCityPro.com? Is it going to be on the hot tag or?
No, it's going to be on the Fountain City Pro Facebook and YouTube page.
Okay, all right.
So
if
we'll
you're paying attention
Twitter
to the screen in front of you guys, there is a website down here. I've got Twitter listed. It's all Fountain City Pro, but also FountainCityPro.com. You got links through. You can buy your tickets there. You can also link through. Make sure to follow Fountain City Pro on YouTube, Twitter, Amazon wish list, OnlyFans, whatever. All the links that are there. Yeah,
all of them. All of them.
Finder.
Really appreciate
Yeah, we got all.
I don't think we can say OnlyFans on YouTube. I think that's a strike.
Yeah, you can't really say it. You say only
Friends.
Friends, only friends.
No, they
only,
say
only
they say something on my fan site. They call it like a fan site.
Yeah, only monetary appreciation.
Let's not tempt the YouTube gods anymore further. Okay, let's move on.
Trying to get canceled.
I was gonna say we're
canceled. That's so great.
Treading on thin water here.
We actually got a strike. We got 2 strikes. One of them is because we used to use some royalty-free music, which I credited, and then somewhere, unbeknownst to me, the author of that music changed their mind and made it, non-royalty free out of nowhere. We got a strike one time. Okay, cool. That was easy to get cleared up. The only other time we got a strike, and it wasn't really a strike, but we got a stern talking to by the YouTube police, because when we had Matt Brannigan on, and I like to do for all the guests that we have, I put all their links in the box, right? Hey, go buy some of their merch. Follow them on Twitter. Check them out at this promotion or that promotion. He has one of those websites with his girlfriend, so I put it in there, and that was a big no-no. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Which speaking of, he's hilarious. Love him.
Friend. Thank you. Just rub it in. Just go for it.
All right. So, do we want to transition from, a great night of wrestling into some bummer stuff? Then we get into some A-dubs.
Let's do one last thing here.
Okay.
Light it up. March 8th. Ball Event Center, Olathe, Kansas. Go to FountainCityPro.com. Get your tickets right now, $20. And we didn't say before, 6 o'clock are doors, which generally usually means 7 o'clock is going to be first bell, give or take, something like that, right? That's usually, if you've never been to a pro wrestling show, hey, it's the perfect time for you to go. But that's generally how it works. Doors 6, and they'll start around 7-ish, couple hours. Hang out with us. Come cheer on or boo Austin, one or the other. I mean, either way, we're going to cheer him on because Austin.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
I'm a pretty likable guy.
I'm also going to be rooting for a straight heel turn by your female teammate, of course. But
it's entirely possible. Wouldn't put it past.
It's absolutely possible. Well, one more thing, and then I would love to get into the super normal regular night of AEW with you guys. One more thing though, if you guys love watching JJ and Jamie on Total Spotfest, you guys are gonna love the live pre-show that Jamie and JJ are gonna do for us. Used to love what JJ and Kevin and everybody used to do at Fountain City. That was one of my, or not Fountain City, at Journey Pro. Sorry. When I couldn't make the events and I had to watch on Twitch, your guys' pre-show was always one of my favorite parts of it. So wanted to bring that feeling, that aesthetic back and do something like that. Just as an opportunity for people who possibly can't make the event to watch the pre-show and feel even more miserable about their lives because they're going to miss the show. Or, maybe you get sporadic and you want to come buy a ticket or whatever.
I usually only have that effect on women, but thank you. Okay.
Yeah. But I just wanted to throw that one last part out because, like I said, it's going to be super fun. And I used to love watching you guys do it for Journey. So I'm excited for you guys to do it for Fountain City as well.
Absolutely. Did Jamie freeze on us?
He might be playing a prank on us.
If he didn't freeze, he's doing a phenomenal job of just staying very still.
Well, we are going to keep going here. Jamie, for those of you who...
Jamie blinked twice.
Those of you who followed us, Jamie has had some internet service provider issues over the past few months. It looks like they've reared their ugly head, but we're super stoked. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll of course be talking about this a lot more in over the next week and a half. So definitely though, continue. Jamie is froze like hell. Yes, I know. But yes, we will definitely we're more excited to be. Hey, there he is. He's back with us.
My Discord straight froze. It just like locked up.
Yeah.
It froze on a great still shot of you as well.
I see that. Like I was like deep in thought. Like I was.
Here's some screenshots thrown to us on Twitter, y'all. But no, we are super excited to be there. So more details on that coming soon. But Jimmy and I will definitely be getting you guys ready for it well in advance on next Friday. So look out for that. So, okay.
Absolutely.
Well, now for a harsh transition, Jamie, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. Well, so before we get into AEW, this was a bit of a rough week in the wide world of wrestling, and we lost a few people this week. Obviously, today we lost a wrestler known as Virgil. And another big blow, at least in my opinion, was Ole Anderson, one of the founding members of the Four Horsemen. And that one hit a little hard just because of... I love the Four Horsemen, man. Like, I don't know what it is about them. Like, Ole... I mean, it's Ole. Like, it's just... Yeah.
It was three good old boys in the Nature Boy, right? And they were just...
accurate.
And Jamie and I are a little bit older, so maybe we grew up with that though, and Tully, Arn, Ole. I always called him Ole, but Ole, I think it's technically
Ole, yeah,
he's Minnesotan.
Ole Anderson.
Minnesotan. My and Rick, man, both of those just suck.
Yeah, so Ole Anderson, I was actually surprised when I heard the news that he was still alive, just because he was a bit older than the rest of the Horsemen. So I was surprised he made it as long as he did. So a little bit of a good job on that, I guess. But yeah, kind of a big loss in the wrestling world. The Virgil one though, that just seemed really out of nowhere. Like Virgil pops up on social media pretty much weekly. He's kind of almost become a meme on pro wrestling Twitter, but in a way where people genuinely just appreciate that man existed. Yeah, that one was a big surprise. But yeah, it's never a good time when you lose people that in general, but like especially in the wrestling business that did have a name that entertained you when you were younger. But yeah, and one more I wanted to mention, not in wrestling, but still in the entertainment world. Richard Lewis passed away. I believe either yesterday. I saw it was announced today. It might have been yesterday.
Today. I don't know if it was yesterday. I saw
but
it.
I oddly enough just this week finally got around to starting Curb Your Enthusiasm. To me, Richard Lewis was always Prince John from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
But mole?
Yeah, what a legend. So I wanted to pour one out for my man Richard Lewis as well.
I remember seeing Richard Lewis in so many just random. Remember what was that Louis Anderson Cub Scout movie?
Cub Scout movie?
Louis Anderson was a bunch of guys. They get the Cubs
God,
guy.
yeah. Hold on.
I mean, that's like my first like real recollection of Richard Lewis. But then, of course, yeah, man. But we just took a turn on the show. Talking about the joys of a brand new wrestling promotion, dude. Just like,
yeah, man. What was he?
I think it's a great lead into to Dynamite.
Well, thank you.
I mean, yeah, we kind of.
I'm sorry. I threw a movie which we vaguely know, and Jamie's gonna go crazy until he finds the name.
I'm trying to do the same thing.
Do you know what movie I'm talking about? Where it's like Louis
I do, and
Yes.
I can't remember it.
I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah,
I can't
the
think
Cub
of the
Scouts
name
that
of
get
it.
together like 30 years later. It's like old man Goonies, basically. You know?
Yeah.
That is not the first time this has happened to me with Richard Lewis either. There was a sitcom, and I finally got around to looking it up today. It was called Hiller and Diller, and it was Richard Lewis and Kevin Nealon, and it ran for one season. When I was a child, I have no idea why I remember this. Like, I thought it was a much bigger thing, but no, it had one season. Nobody liked it. But when I saw he died, I finally had to look it up because it kept bugging me. I, for some reason, have a vivid memory of this random sitcom from being a child, even though there was like 12 total episodes.
The wrong guys.
The wrong guys.
Wrong
There
guys.
we are.
My Google foo is not to be messed with.
And the second you fight it, here's Heather just like, it's the wrong guy.
Heather's right there with me.
Yep.
Jamie,
On
let's
point.
rest in peace, Richard. Rest in peace, Virgil. Rest in peace, Oli. Yeah, you will be missed. All right. Let's talk about Dynamite. How about that?
Let's do it, because typically on this show, as a lot of us know, when we talk about go-home shows for AEW, they miss the mark.
They've been better lately.
Case in point tonight. I enjoyed tonight a lot more, not only for the sting factor, even though there was no sting factor, but the whole, hey, there's Sting, where's Sting, that whole thing. And then he shows up at the end, which was amazing, but I kind of wanted a little bit more Sting because it is it's his swan song, man. That's the only, if I had one gripe, it's that. I enjoyed tonight. Gentlemen, what'd you guys think of the show tonight?
I thought it was a solid show. And even for a go-home show, like they got pretty much everyone you're going to see on the pay-per-view on there. I thought it was missing like that big moment you want from a go-home show that like really sells you on the pay-per-view. Not that they didn't get my money just by announcing the date and the time, because I watch all the pay-per-views. They're always entertaining. I thought it just, there wasn't anything on there that was just like that huge moment that like really got you hyped. But it was a very solid show, and I'm going to be hyped for the pay-per-view either way, so can't really complain.
Chase, did you watch all of Dynamite tonight?
I did. I will agree with you guys. Like, I feel like the first couple of years of AEW, those go-home shows were always so great. Like, there was a go-home show to Revolution, I think, that was in Kansas City one time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We
and
were
that was a great show. Yeah, that was a great show.
30-minute Iron Man match.
Oh, that was the Iron Man match.
That was. So some of the I will agree with you guys. Some of the go-home shows lately have been kind of flat. And I feel like the Samoa Joe triple threat match hasn't been as highlighted as it should be. But tonight, like I felt like it was a good go home show for Revolution. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It got me excited to dump my money on this pay-per-view. So.
Okay. Overall, I didn't mind tonight's show. I think the wrestling was mostly good. I will get to that. The wrestling was mostly good. But again, as I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, there's nothing to sell. It's Sting's last match. They're already sold out of like live event tickets, right? The triple threat we saw coming, we're all like, yes, please, give me that. Every match they get announced, it's like, I'm already buying the card, but absolutely. So I don't really feel like there's really anything to sell anymore. So I was fine with all this. I agree with you, Jamie. I would have liked a little bit more Sting Swan Song, just a little bit. Maybe that's because of, growing up with Sting the way that we did. I don't know, but that's the only thing I felt like, but I don't know. I feel like, and again, I feel like because they don't really need to do any of this. They could do what Austin's favorite thing is, which is just like, hey, you've got the card already set up. Just put some banger matches with some completely random people on TV. But I feel like they did a pretty good job of putting some good wrestling on there as well.
So it had one thing, though. One thing that made it amazing for me. Can you guys guess what that may be?
Let's start with that, okay?
Whatever could it be, Jamie?
I don't know.
Whatever could it
there's
be.
one thing, I'm committed to the bit, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, that's right. I got to see a goddamn lion tamer on national television for a W. Even though Chris Jericho's old and he needs his swan song next. Got to see a lion tamer against Atlantis Jr. Actually, the match was not that terrible. Wasn't that great, to be honest with you.
Wasn't that great.
But I got a lion tamer, so I could really give two shits.
This was the one match that I was kind of meh on, and I think it's just because I'm sick of seeing Chris Jericho wrestle on my television.
Or nuts.
Yeah, much like y'all and anyone else with eyes that tunes in from 7 to 9 Central Time Wednesday nights. Seen enough Chris Jericho for now. That being said, I thought this was a much better use of Chris Jericho than they've had in a long time. When this was announced, I have no idea who it was. Atlantis Jr. I almost called him Atlantico. I think it's Atlantis Jr.
It's Atlantis.
No idea who he was. But they have treated me to various luchas. I did not know who they were over the last month or so, and it's been great every time. So I saw this. I was excited to see a new lucha. If I had to see Chris Jericho in a match, it wasn't against the Don Callis family for the 50,000th time. So yeah, I didn't mind this.
Agreed. As long as we don't get like a main event Chris Jericho or Chris Jericho, I don't want to say stealing. That's the wrong word, but kind of taking spots that.
I'll say it.
Yeah. But is stuff like this, to kind of, I can't think of the right word, but to leave little snippets for the fans like this to give us, Jericho versus, a luchador from, in Mexico, or to give us another high profile guy for him to have a match with. I feel like this is Chris Jericho's farewell tour. I think we're getting close to that.
And as a lifelong Jerichoholic, like I'm ready. It's time, It's time to take old Yeller out back,
I'll tell you what, man. Sean was my guy, and it broke my heart. I didn't watch wrestling for like 8 months afterwards after he retired. I thought I was gonna be done watching wrestling, and then no, I'm not.
I still have not watched that tag match they did in Saudi Arabia with him and Triple H. Like, as far as I'm concerned, he retired against The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, it never happened.
Just Thanos that shit out of existence. I've watched it. It was bad.
So you're on something, Austin. So I have this thing about movies. So as we know, I'm the resident cinephile. I struggle watching remakes. Like I still have not seen the new Red Dawn. I still haven't seen the Will Smith version or is it the Jade whatever his kid's name version of the Karate Kid. Like there's just certain things you just don't fuck with, right? Like there's just some things you just don't do. And taking Sean out of retirement for probably like $3 million. I mean, I would too, but I just can't. Like you gotta leave the Taker Michael's goodness and remember that, and not what else? Like I want Wolverines and not whatever the hell we had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can you fathom that they could have, if they really wanted to do that, they could have given us Shawn and AJ. And instead they gave us Taker, Kane, Triple H, and Shawn in Saudi Arabia. It's insane. It's
all I can think
insane.
of is that one of them Saudi princess was like, here is millions and millions of dollars. I caught the attitude era a little bit. I want these 4 guys. Put them in a match. Pay them whatever you have to do. We need this. And
so they did.
I'll bet $100 that Hogan wrestles in Saudi Arabia by the end of the year.
Oh, I'm not taking that.
I'll bet $100 right now.
That easily.
Whoever wants.
I do not like the odds of taking the other side of that bet.
No.
And if you want to go for double money, throw in Goldberg, Hogan Goldberg.
Supposedly Goldberg ruined his relationship with WWE, but who knows? Obviously money talks.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, CM Punk. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
You're gonna get Hogan Cena.
Yep.
Hogan Cena and
that sounds
Saudi.
about right.
Hogan and Roman and Saudi.
No more Taker. Taker is officially done.
Yeah.
Please, God, no.
Please.
And Hogan should be too.
Austin's shaking his head because he's like, "You're never done. You're never retired."
Some people should be.
Some people should be.
So we talked about a match, gentlemen. So let's go ahead and move into some of the in-ring segments because there were a few tonight. And let's just go ahead and I want to save the first one for last because I felt like that was the most impactful. Okay. It makes the most sense for us to make that.
That works for me.
But let's go ahead and talk about the official unveiling of one Mr. Will Ospreay as All Elite.
Bruv.
And bruv, exactly.
Sorry, Heather. Heather was struggling understanding. And she knows British people. Yes.
So, like one of my coworkers, he's no longer with my company anymore, but he had a really strong British accent, and sometimes it's hard to hear him when he got going. And this reminded me a lot of that. But you could pick out pieces of it, and in my opinion, gentlemen, I want to hear your guys'. It definitely seems like Will Ospreay is coming in as a baby face, but not only a baby face, but he could be one of the top baby faces of the company, especially after what happened in the beginning. Like he could easily just get a couple dubs under his belt, and next thing you know, he's going for a belt in maybe August.
I feel like one of us is predetermined this months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's.
Okay,
you don't really need to be able to see the future to predict that one.
Mark Stradamus is always correct.
Not only is he coming in as a top baby face, he's getting received as top baby face. Okay, like I don't want to shoot on any like specific region for the most part. Huntsville, Alabama, though, not where you think of. You're going to get Will Ospreay official debut ish, right? Although, the Deep South has long routes, long roads into wrestling, right? Regional wrestling. So, but that being said, that pop he got, that was an all-star pop, right? And he's going to get that everywhere he goes. I think that, first of all, AEW to sign him, even though they had the leg up because of the past relationship, right? For them to sign him, they're going to put him on a rocket. It's well worth it. This guy is probably the best wrestler in the world right now. So he deserves to be on the top, and I'm all for it. Give it to me.
Yeah. Ospreay's a star. It's undeniable. As Big Rob said in the chat, pretty sure Don Callis is going to turn on him at Revolution.
No,
but actually, that's what I liked about this segment is that they didn't have him come right in, just already away from the Callis family. They made it seem like he's still with them for now, because that leads you in Revolution not knowing, is Callis betraying him going to cost him the match, or is he going to overcome it and win anyways? I could see it going either way. And I always like when there's at least some kind of doubt that I don't just know who's going to win a match. So yeah, I thought this segment did a good job to set up something that they haven't really been able to do a lot of work on leading this pay-per-view. Not that you really need to sell anything more than just put Ospreay's name next to somebody else's. But yeah, it was a nice little way to head you into Sunday.
Yeah, I loved it. I think Don Callis does turn on Will Ospreay, but I think Will still overcomes. And like a bold prediction, I think Will comes out after Samoa Joe retains and challenges Joe immediately.
Oh,
I just
right to the top. Okay.
Yeah, the only reason I say that is just because you look at Tony Khan. Like every single time he's brought in a big name, and we can argue that this is possibly one of the biggest names that he's brought in, because arguably Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world right now. That I could see him immediately challenging Joe or whoever wins the match at not at the pay-per-view, but coming out and making a statement at the pay-per-view, or at least waiting until Dynamite.
Starts.
Yeah, no, shut up. I was trying to be quick with it.
There's a poll in chat. Never mind the typo, guys.
I pulled a JJ with a typo. My bad.
See, Austin has been going long and hard with the thought process of the crowning of him is going to be him against Swerve in London.
I still think that's where it's going. That's why I have the doubt that Ospreay might not win on Sunday, because then you can kind of keep him busy for a little while and draw out the 6 months you need to get to Wembley. It's one of those things that writes itself. Like you can see it coming, but you want to see it. Ospreay winning the title at Wembley just seems like too big of a thing to pull the trigger earlier than that.
I could definitely see that. But I think if he challenges after Revolution, I think that they could drag that out for him and intertwine all four of those guys somehow. I mean, could we all agree that Swerve should win? Swerve should 1,000%
should
win
yes.
on Sunday.
Should yes, will
yes.
no.
Agreed. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
He's so damn good. I want to talk about it, but we're not going to
talk
talk
about that next.
about
Let's
it.
go right into it.
No. We're putting a pin in
you want
that.
to save it. You want to save it. That's fine. Okay.
That's the main event, man.
You want to talk about some women's wrestling then?
Yeah. Were you surprised as I was?
I won't say I was surprised, because of this dais, I'm the one who's actually given Sky some credit. I enjoyed the living piss out of this match, though. I would not have thought that Sky and Chris would be such a good pairing.
That's
It
great
was
in the ring, man.
fantastic.
She just needs a mouthpiece, and now she's got one. And then she's going to turn heel with Stokely, and it's going to be a beautiful thing.
You're going to turn on Willow?
No, they're going to be together as a tag team, and they're going to be the inaugural tag team champions, because that's going to get announced in 3 weeks.
So you think they're all going to be heel? So the whole thing is going to they're both going to go with Stokely. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you think? Because I know you have been extra critical, Austin, about Sky showing my butt on TV blue.
Just to be clear, I've not been critical about her showing her butt on TV. That's her choice.
Neither have I at all.
I've been critical about the in-ring performance. That just the way that came out, it made it sound something completely different than what's going on here. I thought she did okay. I think if you have a pulse and 4 working limbs, Chris Statlander will get a decent match out of you. I think Statlander carried the match a bit. Sky Blue wasn't bad. But I don't think you got my normal complaint about Sky Blue, I think it still was pretty prevalent tonight. You don't get those level changes. You don't get the intensity in between stuff. The one time where she showed it, she did show a little bit tonight, was the destroyer into the super kick into the small package. Like, you saw her move with a little quickness. You saw a little bit of it. But outside of that, like the first 80%, like the moves were crisp, the moves were fine, but the in-betweens, it doesn't look TV quality to me a lot of the time. Statlander, though, is an absolute pro, and we'll get a good match out of anybody. So not to discredit Sky Blue, but I do want to tip my cap to Statlander, because she got the best match out of Sky Blue I think we've seen so far.
That was 100% a clickbait segue I did there, by the way. So, Chase, we've been ultra critical about the AEW's women's division in general. What did you think about the women's match? Even though there was only one, you could have done two. You could have done two, Tony. What did you think about the match?
I liked it. I agree with Austin. I think the best thing for AEW to do as a whole, not just with this match, is to take those younger people that have unlimited potential, like Sky Blue does, and put them in the ring with people who can wrestle a styrofoam cup and make it be really, really good, like Chris Statlander. And it worked tonight for Sky Blue. That did so much more for Sky Blue than it did for Statlander, and it still did so much for Statlander and her story with Willow and Stokely. So I loved it.
I do gotta say, okay, I love the spot where Stokely pulled out the chain, and you got the shot where it looked like the angel over one shoulder and the devil over the other. That was great TV.
So much. God, yes. I love that, man. That's so good. And who had? I'm sorry, Jamie. I didn't have Sky Blue does a Canadian Destroyer on my bingo card yet, but
yeah, I didn't have that. But when you have an athlete like Chris, that's what makes that happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah, the only thing that determines whether or not someone can do a Canadian Destroyer is whether or not the other person is capable of taking a Canadian Destroyer.
Right.
Can you do a backflip?
It's not them physically doing it. It is that physicality is split.
Heidi Howitzer has hit a Canadian Destroyer before, and she is not much of a jumper.
I remember the first time I saw Canadian Destroyer. Of course, it was Petey. Everybody knows that, right? It had to be Petey. Yeah. And that's when I was first getting, because I was like you, Chase. I went on a wrestling hiatus for a hot minute because the whole ruthless aggression area I hated it. I hated it so much. I just said, fuck wrestling. I'm done with this. And then I was at a bar one night. I was at Old Patio Quigley's off 119th and Row because my buddy lived around the corner. We could get hammered and crawl back to his condo. It was fantastic. We were up there one Saturday night, and they had TNA wrestling on. I saw Kurt Angles when he made his day. Yeah, in the bar. Yeah. And it's like Kurt Angle showed up and doing those stuff, and I go, that's Kurt Angle. Wait, what the fuck is this? This is amazing. And then I immediately just dove back in. I got into TNA. I got into hardcore, indie wrestling. I did back catalog of ROH. But I remember saw Petey do it the first time, and I about shit my pants. I was like, what the fuck was that?
I think we all can agree that there were errors of TNA Impact that were really, really good. You could just take a handful this era. You didn't really want this one because this one wasn't so good, but grab you a handful of that one. And I'll fight anybody who disagrees. That first era was just, it may not have been the best ever, but man, what it was at that time, revolutionary. You'll never forget that. You'll never forget Elix Skipper doing that Hurricane Rana off the top of the cage. You'll never forget the first time you saw the Ultimate X match. Or
Jerry Lynn owning everybody. Who had that?
Yeah. The first time we ever saw Petey Williams do the Canadian Destroyer, and then they put Amazing Red on TV like that, and then of course AJ Styles. You'll never ever be able to copy something like that ever, ever again. The athleticism.
These guys are sick of hearing it. One of my favorite matches of all time is AJ Joe Daniels 1.
Yeah. I remember
Absolutely.
the first time I saw a Motor City Machine Guns match.
Oh,
And as a long, tag team wrestling is my favorite version of wrestling. And I remember the first time I saw the Motor City Machine Guns wrestle, and I just kind of sat there staring for a few minutes, like, what the fuck is that? And where has it been? Because that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen on a pro wrestling show. I don't even remember who they wrestled at the time either. I just remember the Guns being like the dopest thing I'd ever seen in a wrestling ring at the time.
Yeah.
really? Heather said the Machine Guns are what got her into wrestling.
Hell yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
They're yeah. I'm a big Guns guy. Like back in that era, of course, like the birth of the knockouts, like Gail Kim and Awesome Kong. Like those two, their feud, ODB, like coming out of nowhere and like, what the hell is this? And then you're like instantly falling in love with that character because that is just like the craziest white trashy Missourian thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Good. Yeah,
I remember Jamie because they basically did that whole like, we're making the women's division relevant, and they did like that giant expansion over a period of like 2 months where they introduced Kong, Velvet Sky, Angelina Love, Madison Rain.
So they did the one thing that WWE never did. They not only sold the sex because back then that's what you had to do.
Yeah,
the women had to wear skimpy stuff.
But
these girls could go. That's the difference. These girls could go. All these women were phenomenal wrestlers, except for Velvet Sky. But
she
like you had all these really good wrestlers. And then, that's the thing. The Diva era didn't have that. They just had pretty faces and people just almost dying all the time, getting hurt. It's like watching WoW. So very much that was the big piece of that era too, man. And I mean, I know Austin, you hate that 6-sided ring, but it looked cool as hell.
It looks awesome. But for the health, safety, and longevity of all performers involved, I'm glad they got away from that.
True that. Oh, and plus, Abyss, some of the hardcore shit they did was anyway. For those of you interested, go check out TNA Wrestling. Go look at their back catalog. Go on their YouTube. You can check out their back catalog. There is some like you can get that like 2012, 13. There's some ridiculously good stuff.
There's also go on Pluto TV. It's absolutely free, and they have a channel that just shows old TNA and Impact 24/7.
24/7.
Yeah,
it'll just like bounce around shit. So like you never know what you're gonna get, but it's always gonna be.
You're force fed it, but it's probably gonna be good, more than likely.
My wife gets pissed. So the majority of what's on my TV is wrestling all the time.
Shocking.
I know that's like a really nerdy thing to say. Unless I'm watching football. My wife gets mad because she's like, God, the only thing you ever want to watch is football and wrestling and Marvel. And I'm like, well, sorry. So when I can steal the remote from her at night, that's my go-to is Pluto and then the 24/7 TNA channel.
Oh, nice.
It is a gift. It truly is. Because like I didn't watch enough TNA to ever know what I want to watch. Mm-hmm. So I just leave it up to the universe and Pluto TV, and they give me the TNA I need at any given time.
TNA had that legitimate shot if they didn't try to beat WWE.
Hogan.
Dixie took over, and they did the whole thing, and then Hogan, they were going after that's when they lost. Because they had a legitimate shot to be a sustainable number 2 promotion in America, right? Just be who you are. Own Friday night or whatever the fuck they were on, Thursday night. Who cares, right? Man, swing and a miss.
Yeah, I also just think at the time, I don't know if there really was an opportunity to be a long-running sustainable number 2 on TV. Because back when they were trying all that, there was still more stuff on TV. Nowadays, every channel is like 24 hours of syndicated stuff they own. That's why WWE and AEW can get these huge TV deals, because live sports and entertainment is about all you have that's like made directly for TV anymore.
That's true.
So I don't know if at the time that would have worked like it would now when networks are just hungry for that kind of content. But also bringing in Eric Bischoff and Hogan was dumb anyway.
Yes, let's not talk about dumb. Let's go back to Dynamite and talk more about some Dynamite stuff, Jamie.
I'm all for it. So let's go ahead and get back into another match here, gents. Can we talk about the masterpiece that was FTR and Eddie Kingston going against the BCC?
Did we expect any less?
This is like the easiest test exam, open book exam you'll ever have in your life.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
it literally, like, somebody went into AI and was like, "Hey, create me a banger 6-man tag match, and this is what you get." It was so good.
I mean, I almost have nothing to say about this because it was just fantastic. But it's also, last week we had, the tag match. Week before we had Mox versus Dax. This is what you get. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I don't want to give it my match of the night, but
what was
because
better?
Like, we've already seen it, but you have to. Like, you feel like it. I'm an asshole if I don't give it to it, but I'm an asshole if I do give it to it. So I guess
you guys gave me shit about picking FTR as my tag team of the year last year, but it's the same sort of thing. It's like,
yeah, you can't deny what you see. And,
I mean, you two over there are giant Chiefs fans, and you guys deservedly win Super Bowl every year because you have the best quarterback, and I mean, just how it is. Yep, you got to give it match of the night, dude. I'm sorry, it was the best match.
They just wake up every morning and piss excellence.
Yeah, I thought this was easily match of the night, and I don't think anything else was really booked to compete with this for match of the night.
No.
But this was a good use of your go home show. Here's some interconnected storylines a little bit. Like, here's some talent you're going to see on the show. Watch them go be excellent at pro wrestling for a solid 20, 25 minutes, the better part of your first hour of TV. This was great.
Agreed.
So good.
Which match are you guys more looking forward to at Revolution? Kingston versus Danielson, or FTR versus Mox and Claudio? You have to choose
FTR
one.
versus Mox and Claudio.
I gotta go FTR versus Mox and Claudio.
For me, it's sorry. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say Kingston and Danielson for me.
Oh, okay.
I love Eddie so much, man.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer to this question.
Yeah.
No,
I
but
agree.
you have to choose an answer, though, is the problem.
Yeah, it's definitely not the Lemmy versus God in a wrestling match who wins type of question. But no, like, for me, it's got to be FTR, BCC, because as much as I know, Danielson versus Kingston will blow the roof off that thing. We saw last week in 20 minutes, that's lightning in a bottle. And to hopefully have an unlimited time amount on it on Sunday, chef's kiss, let's go.
I'm fully expecting on Collision we're going to get a stipulation added of some sort. There's got to be.
Table match,
no time limit, something. They're going to
2 out of 3 falls. Give me 2 out of 3 falls with these 4 men.
Yeah.
I just really hope it's not a gimmick that takes away the tags, especially because the Bucks were singing Darby's a tornado tag. I want a tag team match. So, like, make it 2 out of 3 falls.
How about just a no limit? Just no time limit. You go to there's a winner.
I wouldn't mind that. I always, FTR never misses in 2 out of 3 falls matches, or any other match, typically speaking, to be honest. But that's their wheelhouse. And I think you having the draw with them fighting endlessly, like, that's just such a nice definitive way to end this and move on to other things. I would like to see 2 out of 3 falls. I am going to be happy as shit with whatever they give me.
Chase, you're a wrestling promoter here. Well, what would you book on that stip for that match? If you got to get a stipulation, what would you book on that match?
I would agree with Austin. It's the 2 out of 3 falls.
2 out of 3. Okay.
I mean,
that's the best.
Let's be real. Yeah, FTR and the Briscoes. I mean, like I said, that's their wheelhouse. That's exactly what I would do.
Tony, we know you listen.
It's such like an old school thing as well. Like,
oh yeah,
more feuds need to end in 2 out of 3 falls matches.
They do. Well, one of the best feuds that ended in a 2 out of 3 falls, Austin and Triple H. No Way Out 2001. If you haven't, go in your Wayback Machine and watch that match. It is so beautifully done. That's the perfect formula that you start off in a singles match, and then you go on, and then you go into a street fight, and then if it goes to a third fall, you end it in a steel cage. It's the perfect formula.
I mean, I can't really think of a 2 out of 3 falls match that was not justified and fantastic, right?
Well, there was the random like 3 months on Raw like a decade ago where everything was 2 out of 3 falls because they were like looking around commercial breaks.
That's blacked
but
out.
Notwithstanding that,
I'm talking like Gargano versus Cole.
I just last week rewatched FTR and American Alpha 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh God, that was so. Remember how goddamn good American Alpha was.
So Megan and I literally were just talking about them because we were watching Raw, and we saw Chad Gable on there. She's like, remember American Alpha? They were so damn good. And it's like one tear came out of the eye because my 17-year-old daughter is saying how good a tag team was. And she's like, whatever happened to Jason or whatever the guys? I'm like, oh, he hurt his neck, he's done. And it's like, well, Chad's so good. I'm like, Chad's okay as a single guy, but he's built for tag team wrestling. Like that dude, that
he's
team
stupid over in that whole the.
You would think being Kurt Angle's son, Jason Jordan, could keep wrestling with a broken neck. Is all I'm saying.
Stop that, please.
That was such poor taste. That was such poor taste. It was awesome.
That was ridiculous. And even the people in the arena when it happened, they were like, wait, what? Really?
I mean, if he's on a steady diet of painkillers like Kurt was, I think he probably could do
it. I do want to take a second here to talk about Chad Gable. And this is my time to chastise the wrestling community. Because Chad Gable, I will say, is doing fantastic. Him, Otis, and Maxime Dupree, the whole Academy thing is doing great. And you might have seen online, there's been some blowback. Well, Maxime Dupree did a house show, and people there were dicks. And I'm going to just say this. If you guys are going to go to a wrestling show, if you're going to go to, I don't know, Light It Up on March 8th in Olathe, Kansas, don't be dicks to the wrestlers, okay?
Unless they're heels. If they're heels, you get to be a dick back to them, but like there's a courtesy dick, not like just for the sake of being a dick. Because this person wrestled their ass off. Yes. Are they green? Yes. Are they as polished as Asuka? No. Are you really expecting that out of them? If you are, shame on you. There's no reason to boo her. She got a W, and she bust her ass. Like, you can tell she's working hard on her craft.
Yeah.
And that's how you treat her. Like, fuck off, dude. Like, that's all I gotta say. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I know I didn't want to divert totally, but I wanted to at least address that because that pissed the shit out of me. I saw that. I was just like, we gotta chastise some others.
It would be crazy if people would just shut up and enjoy the show.
Wow. Okay. Now I ask Austin this every week, but I need you to take that logic, Chase. Okay, we're talking about professional wrestling here. Okay, we need to just.
yeah, I know.
You got to turn the logic sliders down a bit.
All right. So there was another match.
Let's move on to the last match of the night that we have not talked about. And that was Nick Wayne, the prodigy Nick Wayne, going up against Orange Cassidy. And of course, Nick Wayne did come out with our father, the patriarch himself, Christian Cage.
It's the first time we've seen Nick Wayne wrestle a singles match in a while since he did the whole Darby angle.
Yeah, I like his new dark gear too, like very heelish gear. I'm a fan. You look good.
Again, they are doing the right things for Nick Wayne for the long haul. I am all for this. Given just enough. Didn't get the win. He wasn't supposed to. Cool. He did some stupid fucking moves. I love seeing it. This is perfect. This is gonna be a great thing to see live. Nick Wayne and Orange Cassidy. I want to see that live.
Yeah, that'd be a fun thing to see in person.
Mm-hmm.
I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, this was a fun TV match. I like the story they're telling with Orange Cassidy, even though he keeps getting beat up for it. He fights anyone, anytime. It was weird to me with Trent and Rocky doing the run-in at the end when all of the patriarchy was out there the entire time. Like, I know you've been saying they've been hurt, they're not there, but like clearly they were there. Like, why wouldn't they just walk out with their boy and just make sure the giant dinosaur and the evil turtleneck guy don't beat him up during his title match?
Again,
minor
Austin,
gripe.
Calm down with that. Okay, all right,
just a minor gripe. Otherwise, though, yeah, this was a great use of Nick Wayne, and this was just a real fun TV match.
Yeah, agreed. I love everything that AEW is doing with both of those young kids, Nick Wayne and Billy Starks, on their respective shows or whatever. Billy being with Athena is amazing for Billy, and
they're giving
Nick
her a TV title, aren't they? They have to.
Yeah, at some point. You know, and then what Nick Wayne is doing with Christian, it's like I said, both of those young kids are in fantastic positions.
Do you remember how critical we were about Nick Wayne and Billy and said they better not fumble this and do it the right way? And here we are.
Critical's a very kind word to use, but yes.
Here we are, 5 months later, and they're doing exactly what we said. And when I say we, I mean a person wearing a hat with a spectacular mustache.
They have handled both of them perfectly for as young as they are, not just cashing in on the main draw of them is that they are super young. But you kind of feature that too much right off the bat. You really don't have anywhere to go to. And they have put both of them with well-established vets, and kind of just slowly brought them along. And it's planting seeds for 2 stars you're going to have for years to come.
It's almost like Tony Khan and the rest of AEW management got just a little bit of knowledge. My windows are messed up. Forget that. Go back. Go away.
What'd you do?
Let's move on.
No idea what he did.
He botched my gimmicks.
Exactly what I did. I didn't edit my one scene correctly because we weren't going to use it, and I decided to pull it out anyway, even though I never. All right.
You know, really quick, since we're going to pop up the Stash of Knowledge graphic, I am going to drop. I was originally going to forgo the stash this week because we got our friend Chase sitting in. We talked about Fountain City early on. I do want to point something out because I doubt we're going to chat about it later because otherwise there wasn't much to chat about. I watched Elimination Chamber over the weekend, and not to get into the whole thing, but I just want to give a proper shout out to Raquel Gonzalez, who was dope as hell in that match. Like, she pulled off some awesome spots. If you didn't see it, it's worth checking out. That's my stash of knowledge for the week.
I agree with you 1,000%. I want to give a lot of pop to Raquel because she exposed her heart recently too, and for her to keep going on there and put out a banger right after that. I mean, emotions high, but also, what did you think about Liv? Are they gonna push her into this match in Mania, Austin?
I don't know, and I really didn't give it too much thought.
I think they are.
I popped for all the dope spots, but then I kind of tuned out of the story stuff because they don't do that particularly well. I just wanted to see Raquel Gonzalez powerbomb 2 people at a time. And it was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, Raquel, Liv, and Tiffany Stratton. All 3 of those. Yeah. And that's all you can say about Tiffany Stratton is that she is she is $1 million. I told one of my friends they better strap the rocket to that girl's back, and send her to the moon because she's.
David will probably tell you that. I at first was like, I don't really get Tiffany Stratton. She's okay, and she's just another blonde. And then I saw more and more of her, and I'm like, oh, no, you were right. I get it.
When I'll be completely honest with you guys. When I first saw her, I was like, wow, here's Vince's pathetic idea to replace Mandy Rose.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then she took everything I thought about that and shoved it back in my face. Because, like I said, man, after watching, I'd seen glimpses of it, but then after Elimination Chamber, I was like, "Yep, she's gonna be a star."
Well, I've been a big Liv fan for years, ever since maybe it's ancillary of her being in the Riot Squad. Hey, Ruby. But Raquel, I remember because our introduction to Raquel was so weird and sudden, and then she became so dominant so fast, and then they kind of just I feel like she deserves, Austin, the push is what I feel. To your point.
I thought she should have won that match. Scrap whatever you had planned. Give me Rhea and Raquel in a hoss battle at WrestleMania.
Right. That's really my only complaint about Elimination Chambers. But both chamber matches, they were easy to pick, right? You knew who was winning.
Well, I figured I'd bring up the women's match and mention that really quick because overall as a show, it was like, all right, it was exactly what you thought was going to happen.
It was
except for
predictable.
The women going in that chamber and pulling out some of the most innovative shit you've seen in an elimination chamber in quite some time.
Yeah, and JJ, to your thought on Liv, I don't know if they're gonna put her in that match. I'm just afraid, really, really afraid for Liv that they're not gonna make her that lovable loser type that never seems to ever get the win or anything like that, like her counterpart in the Riot Squad.
I think we're losing Jamie, guys. I think we're losing Jamie, unfortunately. I think his internet's going out again. I don't know what's happening here.
It wasn't my internet. It was
whatever.
It was the cold backhand of the truth.
So Chase, is the I-70 need another guy on the show? Because
yeah, because
I got you good, you rookie fuck.
Yeah.
Look what I gotta put up with. Oh my god. That's okay.
I got 8 to go.
That is okay. You guys, let's move on. Let's keep talking, okay?
Oh yeah, the thing that you've only won once in the past 6 months. Yeah, that's cool.
Possession, 9/10 of the law, buddy. Sorry, I didn't hear you there.
You got 5 days less than.
Bring it.
Dude, you're so screwed. I told you at bowling. I'll tell you guys too. Lots of things are going against him for the picks.
By the way, this is our pay-per-view pick championship, Chase. In case you didn't know. I think you did know.
One, it's AEW, and I've proven time and time again that I'm really good at the AEWs. And Austin won the last AEW
pay-per-view pick before. Okay, I have.
Yeah, Austin won the last one. Megan's back into wrestling, so she's actually paying attention, which she has been your destroyer. And it happens to be Audrey's birthday that day. You're losing, dude. I'm sorry.
Hey, Jamie, I thought you were about to go into a Steiner Math promo, and now I'm kind of disappointed you didn't.
Yeah.
That deserved to be a Steiner Math promo.
Steiner Math. But yeah, no, Megan's into it. It's Audrey's birthday, dude. The odds are forever not in your favor.
I am the Katniss Everdeen of this show. That is true, and we all know how that ended up. So I'm just saying.
You're better than Ruby Soho. You actually have some gold right now.
Can we get back to Dynamite for God's sake? What are we doing?
Ago?
What is this?
What?
Oh my God.
This is my fault.
Oh no, this is not your fault. This is my life. Okay,
I know.
Just welcome to it, Chase.
He's like, it's a rug, man.
So Sting's last TV appearance.
Yes, let's get right into Sting. So here come Matthew and Nicholas with white bats looking for Sting, and then they find good old Darby, and Darby does what Darby does and gets the shit kicked out of him.
Darby did the old Sting mask reveal, though.
Yes, that was a nice little trope. And like I said, he will be Surfer Sting, calling it now. He will have Surfer Sting paint. No. He will have Surfer Sting paint for this match. Calling it now.
He is hell-bent on this, and I don't know. No.
I'm
can't
willing to
see
put
it.
money up on this.
I
He's
can't
already
see it.
gone, dude. It's so easy.
I can't see it.
No.
It would be cool. I mean, I'd love it. I think it'd be dope, but I can't see Darby doing
There's
anything
no
that's
need
not
for him to do it.
Darby-ish. Yeah.
I think Darby doing like a half Surfer Sting, half other thing would be pretty rad. I would
that
like
would
at
be
least some
cool.
kind of callback to Surfer Sting.
Yeah.
Probably not going to get it, but I would appreciate it for sure.
I just don't see it happening.
Next
what you
Wednesday will be glorious. Not only will I be winning my belt back, but two, I'll be just gloating about this.
We shall see. Now, that wasn't the only callback you got tonight, by the way. Something that I've been dying to see for, I don't know, 17 years, 18 years.
I mean, it might or might not have been outlawed because somebody happened to fall and die in Kansas City.
In front of Jamie's face.
In front of my face. So, yeah, Sting from the rafters.
From the rafters.
Crowd went ape shit. They lost their ever loving mind. It is a. Would you consider that a pinnacle moment in Dynamite history?
No.
I
would if everything else around it had been better. Darby doing the pull off the mask Sting reveal was great. I felt like everything between that and Sting descending from the heavens like the wrestling god he is was falling a little flat for me.
Notably, my favorite wrestler of all time appearing in his 70s and doing stuff he shouldn't be doing anymore.
I still can't get over that he came from the rafters. I thought we would never see it again. I mean, like you said, Jimmy,
it's amazing.
I thought it was outlawed. And then here comes Sting. It's 2024, and Sting is coming down to beat up the Young Bucks, and not to take anything away from Sting. I will tell you guys, I was not the biggest Young Buck fans. I kind of was like, I mean, they're phenomenal. They're phenomenal wrestlers. I love what they do in the ring. They weren't my cup of tea. I'm also a punky. Not a Swiftie. I'm a punky. I love CM Punk. I always have. CM Punk could push a child in traffic, and I probably would still defend him. That's just the weird
like a CM
relationship.
Punk fan, so that checks.
Yep. But you know, the Young Bucks leaning into this has been the most it has just been so great. It's been genius. I love to hate them now. Like where I was just kind of like, yeah, like I just want to see these guys wrestle. I don't care about their promos.
It's a different Young Bucks than we've ever seen. Even though they were heels in ROH and New Japan, they were still Young Bucks. Which they were heel Young Bucks.
They're just on a different
type of Young
level.
Bucks that we've seen.
And I'll be honest with you, when I found out that they were going to be Sting's last opponent, like when I was kind of like putting the pieces together, I was kind of like, ugh. But like the more and more I see, and the more they're doing this, and they're just absolutely murdering this character, like this gimmick of the spoiled little brats, the spoiled EVPs. I have eaten it up, and it like obviously like the scramble in the middle of Sting coming out and the Darby mask, like Austin was saying, was like, it was a clusterfuck. Their character work has just been awesome. And it's made me like excited to watch them again.
I've been saying the same thing for like the last 3 or 4 weeks now. This is the most interested I've ever been in the Young Bucks. Outside of their matches. Their matches are always dope. But as characters, this is peak Young Buck characters for me. I doubt it'll happen because he's doing his excursion into New Japan Strong. I would love to see them put Jungle Boy with these Young Bucks. Really dig it into the CM Punk fans.
Yes. Have them like try to bring him back or whatever and play an angle where he's not allowed to come back, and then they go ahead and do it anyways. And they try to like put him way, way over. I think
that would be great TV.
Yeah. I mean, Nick, like the way Nick is like, his voice is like super raspy now. And they're putting on way too much tan.
Nick is obnoxiously obnoxious too.
Yes. And like the way they are spray tanning, like trying to look more like, I love it. I could sit here all night, guys, and tell you how much I love this.
Touche. Well, instead of that, Jamie, I want to play a quick game. Okay, want to play a game?
I want to play a game.
Since this was Sting's, now he's probably gonna come on next week and say a goodbye or whatever, right? But for all intents and purposes, this is the last Sting television appearance. Okay, we have his last match coming up in 4 days, 5 days, 4 days, 5 days, in a few days. Give me one. Here's an impossible question. Give me one. What's your favorite Sting match/moment?
We've already done this.
Did we do this? When did we do this?
Yeah. We did like 4 weeks ago.
I feel like we might have done this when they announced Sting's last match was going to be at Revolution.
Hi, I'm JJ. I have short-term memory loss. How are we doing?
Welcome to Total Spotfest.
Sorry, I've been getting beat up for the last 15 fucking minutes. I don't remember things, apparently.
He's a lovable loser that never seems to win.
Okay, well, fuck you guys.
We made fun of Ruby Soho so hard, like JJ had to reset his brain.
Chase, I have a request. I'd like for you to book Ruby Soho, and they can come out and she can shoot a promo on these sons of bitches. That'd be great.
I'll buy that for $1.
That was
so
a good
are we
idea.
throwing out Sting moments, or are we?
No, we're moving the hell on. I say fuck you guys.
I'll give mine.
Chase wasn't here. Chase,
yeah, he wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I was, for looking back and watching on it now that I'm older, I don't see the glamour has been taken off of my eyes, but with the Wolfpack. But man, when I was a kid in 1998, the Wolfpack was the coolest shit on TV.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a red
if you weren't down with like the Wolfpack and DX, like you were a loser. We used to beat up kids that didn't like DX and the Wolfpack.
Nobody was Team Hogan. Wolfpack was where it was at.
But when which was so stupid, like I said, so stupid looking back, but when Sting had to make his decision between NWO Hollywood or NWO Wolfpack, because why was Sting choosing to do it? Why wouldn't Sting just choose to stay with WCW? Because he was WCW's guy. Why did he choose? Why did he?
All of 1997 was the whole like Sting was a free agent, and it was the rafters, and it was like the pinnacle of storytelling. And then literally half a year later, choose which NWO you're going to be in. What?
Yep. But the coolest moment was he took off the coat and he had the black and white on. And him and Giant were celebrating, and it was the first time I'd seen somebody grab somebody's hand after they got done hugging and pull them back in. And then he body slammed them and then ripped off the shirt, and he was wearing the red and black. And Tony Schiavone had never cheered so hard for the NWO in his entire career. Like I said, hindsight, like going back and looking at it, the memory is ruined a little bit because, like I said, I go back and I look at it and I'm like, this is terrible booking. Like, who did this? This is the stupidest shit in the world.
I don't think there's anyone else in pro wrestling history that has survived more absolutely stupid bullshit and still come out of it looking like $1 million than Sting. He got saved by RoboCop. And like no one points out that as like a Shockmaster moment. It's like, yeah, man, it's Sting. Like, why wouldn't Sting hang out with RoboCop?
What was that, Bash at the Beach 93 or something? Or
it was like, was it Capital Combat or so? I thought it was like a weird like side pay-per-view or something. I could be wrong though, but
no, Sting was also in the Shockmaster segment, and that was
he was in the Shockmaster.
Sting was also in the Thunderdome cage match where it was him and Flair against Muta and Terry Funk in another gimmick that should have been stupid as shit, but you've got 4 all-time greats in there, and it was still entertaining.
Sting also was the one that helped hook Abdullah the Butcher up to the electric chair.
That was my Sting moment when we did this a few months ago. Was the Chamber of Horrors match?
The Chamber of Horrors. It was
Like, and everything that me and Austin just named was all pre-Bischoff. So you can't blame Eric Bischoff for that shit.
Oh, he kept it going too. Like he was the only like swallowable part of. So the Main Event Mafia had its whole shtick in its run, and then after that was done, like TNA was rudderless as fuck, right? You know, it was going all over the place. That's when, and Jamie hates this, but that's when Sting did the whole Joker Sting thing, and it was gold. It was so good.
Sting spent the better part of 3 decades literally just ripping off the Crow, and everyone was cool with it because it's Sting and he's the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
but hey, you mess with Heath Ledger, that's sacrilege, okay?
That's
completely different.
Where you take the stand. Okay, fine. I also love one other Sting thing we never brought up. Talking at the same level, Sting to the point where, you know, when Jeff Hardy was at like the rock bottom, you know, and he was the TNA champion and all that stuff, and he showed up wasted for the main event. Is a main event against Sting. Sting came out there, legitly whooped his ass in 90 seconds, pinned him, grabbed the belt, and left. It's basically like, fuck you, you're done, right? It was glorious.
Yeah, there were some real punches thrown.
I do have to throw out.
He did not care at all.
My only personal experience seeing Sting live. Going back to TNA, Victory Road 2008, in one of the worst main events of all time. Samoa Joe and Booker T wrestle for a bit, and then Sting shows up, and no one knows what the fuck's going on for a good 15 minutes, and then they just kind of say Samoa Joe wins. Or Booker T. I don't even remember. Maybe Booker T won that match. That was the only time I got to see Sting live.
Fantastic.
Hey, Jamie, I was going to tell you that if people will let Jared Leto and Joaquin Phoenix ruin Heath Ledger's Joker, then Sting has every right to do so as well. So.
I mean, I mean, not wrong, but at that point, I just hated it.
I know. I did too.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at first because I'm a slight man too, right? You know?
Yeah.
But after a few weeks, it started to grow on me, and then I loved it. And it was hilarious too. Jamie knows I talk to this all the time. If you ever hear Sting talk about, he'll forever say that was his favorite character moment in his whole career.
Oh yeah,
was being the Joker.
You can tell he loves it.
He had free reign for the first time. He was all him. He got to do whatever the hell he wanted because TNA was such a shit show. He just ran with it, and yeah.
I feel like Sting's one of the very few like old timers that stuck around forever and seemed to legitimately love professional wrestling up until the end. Like he's never seemed bitter about anything. He's never seemed like, this is stupid. I don't want to do any of this shit. He's still out there bumping off the stage with Darby because he genuinely loves this shit.
He's not going to turn into. I don't see him turning into Bret Hart, bitching and moaning in every interview he has.
I mean, he still hates Seth Rollins.
Well, he's got some people that he's got some beef with. Let's be real.
Like he can't stand that dude because he cost him his career. What was left of it?
Clearly not.
Well,
yeah,
I know.
I was gonna say.
Well, yeah, at that point, fair. Touche.
All right, let's get to the meat of the matter, which began the night.
Yes, the White Goodman promo. It's probably the best way I'm gonna put it. The no one makes me bleed my own blood. You know, I've had that feeling about that whole thing. So gentlemen, unhinged hanger, just crazy as hell hanger. Heel?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Do you feel like it's
I
wrong?
told y'all when he turned after that match with Swerve, he was going full heel.
1,000%.
This is the
how
closest.
How over Swerve is, this was the best decision that they could have made.
And this is the closest they've ever gotten to getting you what you wanted with Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
He's your cowboy Homelander. Because he don't think he's a heel. but he is.
Yeah.
Codelander.
Also want to point out, probably the second best mustache I've seen tonight, in Hangman Adam Page. That thing is gorgeous.
I gotta say,
it
Chase,
is
you got nice
absolutely
little.
beautiful.
You got very good facial hair too. Yours is nice and trimmed and neat and all that. You
Yeah.
know, JB, you should do something like
Absolutely.
that.
Austin
you grow a
Austin looks like the guy that that sticks half his body out of the train while he's taking it down from the 1800s. That's who Austin looks like.
Bro, I would love to be driving a train in the 1800s. Minus the lack of modern conveniences, like that just seems like a good time to me.
Yeah.
You need to bring out the vaudeville villains. You know, like get
Yeah.
yourself the shirt with like the little arm suspenders on it.
But this was the best thing for Adam Hangman Page and
100%.
for Swerve. Like I said, Swerve has been over like Rover for the past few months. This has just been, I mean, what you're going to do now is you are going to put a certain quality back into Hangman Adam Page, turning him heel. And then you're going to get a white hot baby face in Isaiah Swerve Scott now.
You know, it's funny because when they first really started this feud, like right after the blood drinking hanger, like we all were like, they gotta keep him face. They gotta keep him face. He's gonna be their top baby face. They're gonna be the top baby face. And then Swerve's like, nah, dog, I'm your guy. Like strap it onto me. Even though I'm a heel, everybody loves me, so I'm gonna start acting more baby facey, which he definitely is. And it's going to be a shame. I'm going to say it now. It's going to be a shame. He's not going to win it, but damn it, he deserves it.
Yeah, when they first started doing this, I just thought Hangman still could very well be your top babyface. He's always got that quality. I did not know he had this good of a heel in him.
No,
but I'm so glad they pivoted, or maybe this was planned all along. I don't know. Either way, I'm glad we're getting this now because he is one of the most interesting heel characters on TV right now.
I like the style of heel. This is because you always get the tweeners, right? And to be fair, Swerve's a classic tweener, right? You know, even the promos he's cutting, you know, like throwing shade on Joe about, you know, after I'm done with you, you're gonna be back on commentary wearing a poncho or something like that, right? You know. Which is a
great
fantastic gig. He followed that up with a screen cap of Samoa Joe wearing a poncho at the WrestleMania. It was so he is definitely not doing face things, but clearly a face, right? Whereas Hangman is like this different level. Again, like I said, this is the Homelander you've been begging for, right? He is heel. He is doing heels. He did heel shit for this entire promo. Right? Come out limping, can't do the show, can't do this. Joe starts to get the pop, or no, Swerve starts to get the pop. Full heel move, take the cane, beat him over the back of the head. You know, he's totally fine. Cool. But in his head, he's still 100%. No, he's the bad guy. I'm the good guy, right? Nothing else fuels him. Even when he was in that the triple threat with Rob Van Dam Hook last week, right? He was only caring about fucking over Swerve, to the detriment of his teammates. And so I love it. It's different. It's not something you see usually because not many guys can pull it off. To your point, Austin, and your point, Chase, I didn't expect Hangman to be the guy to pull that off, but I'm happy he is.
Well, the best part about it too is like his entire character change has been in line with a long drawn out story.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so like more often not in wrestling. If someone turns, it's on a dime. It's, oh, I was a good guy. I'm going to hit another good guy. Now I'm a bad guy. We've seen Hangman's descent into madness, and we've seen it play out over 3 or 4 months now. And yet some people still hop on Twitter and say AEW doesn't tell stories, but this is some of the best storytelling in pro wrestling right now.
Agreed.
Yeah, like I felt like he's slowly turning into old flying Brian Pillman. Like, do you remember how he was just kind of just nuts?
Oh,
you know,
unhinged, like pull the gun out, Brian Pillman.
Yes. Like I feel like at some point we might
He's
see
gonna pull
something very
again.
similar. But yeah, like Magnum TA, Adam Hangman Page, is definitely going down that path, and it's just insane. Like I was 100% like he has to say babyface, and to your guys' point, this heel version of him is everything I thought I wanted in other heels, and then some. Like he is the chosen one.
Like I said, this is perfect, and it's lightning in a bottle because starting next week, you will have the hottest babyface in the company, Swerve, and you'll do exactly what Hangman has needed to do, that they've needed to do with Hangman, and that's to give him an edge, a certain this heel aspect to him now.
Yeah, we barely even talked. We didn't even really bring up on this whole thing how goddamn good Samoa Joe is on the mic. I mean, come on. It goes out saying,
good.
but it still needs to be recognized. My God, this man.
Absolutely.
This man. Oh.
It's wild how low key good on the mic Samoa Joe is.
Yeah.
Like he never comes to mind when you think of great promo guys, but he only cuts great promos.
And he's just like 20 words, and that's it. And it's boom, and it's amazing.
He still does phenomenal on the mic. He's always been really good. Even going back into his TNA days. I love, like, on the mic, he's really good, like standing in the middle of the ring, but I would always love like his backstage stuff. Like when they'd catch him after a match, his passion, like getting done wrestling promos. The one right before, I think it was like No Surrender 2006, where he was gonna face Jeff Jarrett, and Jeff Jarrett busts him over the head with a guitar. Jeremy Borash got him like right in the backstage area, and he was still bleeding, and he just cut one of the dopest promos I've ever seen. And he said like 2 sentences, and then the rest was "Joe is gonna kill you." And like I say, he's got blood streaming from the top of his face, and it's amazing. So like, and about the poncho thing, like, isn't that crazy to think of? 3 years ago, WWE had him sitting on the commentary table.
Yeah.
Like, gosh, dude, with somebody who's that good on the mic, like, why wouldn't you put him as a manager of somebody or something?
One of the biggest fumbles they ever had was not having him beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
Like
at that Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view.
At Great Balls of Fire,
they had
should have been the
pay-per-view
crowning of
named
Samoa
that.
Joe.
Oh my God.
It should have been. It absolutely should have been.
All right, gentlemen. So this Sunday, Revolution. We got 3-way. It is indeed a 3-way. Hanger pulled a Swerve on Swerve. 3-way for the men's, for the world title. Thomas Tony Storm going up against Deonna Purrazzo. You got Blackpool Combat Club going up against FTR. Bryan Danielson challenging for the Continental Crown champ, whatever, all 3 belts against what do they even call that? Is it the Continental Crown? Is that what it's called, Jamie?
Continental Crown.
Yeah, Continental Crown Championship.
You got Daniel Garcia going up against Our Father Christian. They scrapped the Meat Madness match with a really weird excuse. So they announced the Meat Madness match. It was going to be Wardlow, Hobbs, and Lance Archer. And then Tony Khan said there's 2 people that are injured. We can't do the Meat Madness. So we're going to do an 8-person scramble that includes those 3 men who you just announced for your Meat Madness match. I want my Meat Madness, but they're going to do an 8-person scramble. Per winner gets a championship shot later on, whatever. And then you got the Sting retirement match as well. Sting and Darby versus Young Bucks and Tornado Tag. So, did I miss anything?
Did you say Ospreay and Takeshita?
Ospreay and Takeshita for Don Callis on a pole match.
Match of the night. I'm already calling now.
I was looking at the card earlier when we were talking about the tag team match, FTR and Blackpool Combat Club. There is 9 matches scheduled But as of right now, none of them are marked for pre-show matches. If one or two of these go to the pre-show, I will double down on Austin's prediction for a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
Because like 9 sounds about right for an AEW pay-per-view. We're in it for a, it's a marathon, not a sprint, gentlemen. But like I said, if they move 2 of these to a pre-show, I most definitely can see them making that a 2 out of 3 falls match.
He's
I know
adamant
one
about
match
keeping
from
the
here
main-
that definitely needs to be on the pre-show. The All-Star Scramble that is
Yes.
lacking in stars.
Yeah, I don't.
Agreed.
Not wrong.
It's your. I loved how the original All In, pre AEW All In, they called the Battle Royal the overbooked Battle Royal. They're just saying, "Yeah, we got a bunch of guys we want to put on this, but we don't know what to do with them, so we're sticking them in a Battle Royal." It was fantastic. It was the best verbiage I've ever seen.
I would rather see a Battle Royal than this. Because
always
did
rather
y'all
see a
see the
Battle
2
Royal.
matches they announced to fill in the last 2 spots? One is Matt Seidel versus what I think Magnus or something, one of the CML Luchas, which the match
Yep.
itself will probably be fine. Neither one of those gentlemen are going to earn a shot at the AEW title in this match.
Nope.
The other one is Dante Martin, Penta, and Brian Keith, which will also be dope. None of those 3 are winning a shot at the AEW title.
Lance Archer isn't.
Lance Archer isn't. Hook, we just did that. Brian Cage ain't doing it. They're not putting that on Hobbs. They sure as shit better not put it on Chris Jericho. Why make it an 8-man match when you could just have Wardlow beat any of those guys for a title shot anyway, or like do something else? There's one guy in this match who has an entire story built around I'm coming after that AEW title. And it's not Lance Archer. Nothing against Lance Archer, but like, come on.
Well, a little telecasting won't hurt. So, all right. Well, we will have picks as always. We will let you guys know next week what our picks and what the result of this beautiful championship is. Yes, I know, Jamie. Thank you. But I do want to turn it back for a second here. So, thank you, Chase, for hopping on with us here, joining us in for our discussion tonight, and for announcing another match for Fountain City Pro's Light It Up show. So we appreciate you. Thank you for coming in here. Where can
Appreciate
people,
you having
again, just going to give them all the deets. This is a Shout Out Island, Plug City Island. Knock yourself out. Where can people get more information? Where can they see more of you? Please, the mic is yours. Go to town.
Yeah, no, absolutely. FountainCityPro.com. We'll also have links to all of our social medias on there. We actually just started a TikTok, and I haven't added that to the website, but so that's exclusive to you guys. I'm giving you guys all the gold now. So that way you can find Fountain City Pro everywhere on social media, YouTube. Obviously we'll be posting clips of the shows there. And then also replays of the actual shows as well. That's about it. I'll plug the I-70 hot tag. We interview wrestlers in the Kansas City, Missouri, Midwest area. We don't have really a schedule right now. Josh is extremely busy with 3 kids under the age of 5. And Josh is the wheelhouse that makes that thing work. So he's the one that sends professional emails to the wrestlers and has our rundowns ready, and I just show up and look pretty. So that's how our dynamic works. And since Josh can't do that, there hasn't been a whole lot of I-70 hot tag episodes, guys. Plus I'm really, really busy. Doing a wrestling thing, and then also I own a landscaping business, and then I also still work a 9-to-5 job. So as we continue on, we will definitely look at bringing more wrestlers on to interview and put over in the Midwest area, but for now it's sporadic. We don't have like a schedule anymore.
You can still follow though. That's always like
yes, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So Jamie, do you have an update for us? Did you hit your number?
I hit 23 on the dot.
Was it that many?
I worked quite a few little ones in. A lot of little ones.
So for those
I
of you
think I
who
caught
are
a solid
unaware,
dozen.
for those of you unaware, and Chase is unaware because he's part of this. We have a bit that we had running for a while there. Jamie, why don't you explain a little bit about this bit? And we brought it back tonight in full.
Yeah. So essentially, before every show, there for a strong 6-8 weeks, it felt like. I would just ask the guys randomly, just give me a number. And they would tell me whatever number, and then that's how many movie quotes I would have to work into our show. And Chase gave me a number of 23, and there was the first like 40 minutes of the show, I had 6, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and I had to work it up. Like, I don't know, I was throwing them out there just left and right, just willy nilly. Like,
we're trying to be polite, talk about the promotion that's coming up here, so there's not a lot of openings for Jamie to slip them in.
That's what she said. But yeah, no, I got a full 23. I got it about 5 minutes ago.
I was counting along there. I only got up to about 16 or 17. So yeah, so that number he asked you to give, Chase, that's what it meant. How many movie quotes was he going to try and slip in during the show?
That's badass. I like that. I like that a lot.
Well,
I mean, some of them are blatantly obvious, and some of them I just was like,
there was a lot where you did a couple like double back to backs, some of those like really like sneaky ones too. I got a couple of those that you did. So
yeah.
All right, we hope to see you guys a week from Friday here at Light It Up. Once again, tickets still available. If you haven't bought your tickets, please buy your tickets if you're in or going to be near the Kansas City metropolitan area on Friday, March 8th. For those of you in St. Louis this weekend on Friday, look for Jerry and myself. We're going to GCW over in East St. Louis. Going to see Maki Ito, going to see a little Bussy, see a little Nick Gage, Steph DeLander, Matt Cardona. It's going to be good fun. We'll let you know. We'll let you guys know how it is. We'll let you know how it is.
Who you guys will not see at GCW? Well, maybe because it's Friday. But Saturday night, one called Manders will be at Lucha Libre Laughs in Denver, wrestling myself and 10 out of 10 Logan Austin in a triple threat match. So if you are near that area, there were still a small handful of tickets left as of this morning.
Oh.
As of yesterday afternoon, there were 69 tickets left because Gossard made sure to message us that there was exactly 69 tickets left. But if you are in the Denver area or nearabouts there, Lucha Libre Laughs this Saturday. It's always a hell of a time.
There's a lot of great stuff going on in March. So GCW, if you're in St. Louis on Friday. If you're not in St. Louis, you're near Denver, go to Lucha Libre Laughs. Trust me, they don't usually have tickets still available. And we're still, a few days out.
They likely won't be by Saturday when the show starts. It'll be sold out.
Yeah.
So I would get them in the next day or two.
Walk up is very unlikely for them. So definitely worth your money to go see if you never have. Triple L is a fantastic promotion. And again, a week from Friday, we got Fountain City Pro. Please join us there. We will give you some more information. Like I said, we're going to be doing the pre-show for these guys next Friday. We'll get you some more information next week about that, where to find it, all that good stuff. But $20, FountainCityPro.com. Links down below. Come join us. And you can join us here.
I was just going to say, going to have a fantastic show planned and got a lot of surprises planned for people too. So.
And again, you're going to be on your YouTube, on the website, right? This Saturday, you're announcing the rest of the card.
Correct. We are doing a live stream from our main sponsors, Building and Lease Summit, and it will be on Fountain City Pro's Facebook and YouTube page.
Facebook and YouTube page. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
nice. Absolutely.
We will be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Come join us. If this is your first time here, again, welcome. Please hit the like button follow us. But we're here every Wednesday. We'll be back next week. Talk about Revolution, talk about GCW and Triple L, preview the full card, which we'll have by then for Fountain City Pro. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you guys giving us some of your time. Jamie, take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down Total Spotfest, I got 6 words for you. A lot this time, gentlemen. I'm sorry.
Combined, we had it.
Yeah. With our powers
A
combined.
lot this time, gentlemen. I'm sorry, was 6 words. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. See you and light it up.
Hell yeah.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
Later.